Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles this time.
Hello.
She is here. She's here, and she's going to weigh in on the problematic Halloween costume, Stormtrooper Halloween costume debacle. We need to cancel Stormtroopers because they will remind kids and parents of the N-word that rhymes with Yahtzee.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay.
They need to be canceled. Canceled. Also because the Trumps were wearing. I'm not kidding. Because
is that what they bring up? They bring up in the article.
That's what this is about.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding. I wish I were kidding. I wish this were a parody. This is one of the most ridiculous things.
I didn't know that's what they were mad. Oh my god.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about Halloween costume backlash. I'm beginning to wonder because last year we had.
Why don't we just cancel fun? Because that's what they're trying to do.
Cancel fun.
Cancel fun.
Cancel Halloween. Cancel all of it. Last year, there was backlash over cultural appropriation.
Oh,
yeah, it was last year.
Yeah, I went off on this last year on the other blog that we no longer have our names on. But there's an article I wrote where I went off on this last year because this whole thing was a load of crap. Basically, they said unless you were Polynesian descent, you weren't allowed to dress like us Moana. And I'm like, oh, hell no. No. Because, you know, when we go to Disney all the time, and just Halloween in general, I'm a teacher and a mom, there are little girls all the time dressing up as characters who aren't the same, you know, race as them, who aren't the same culture as them. Who the flip cares? If a little girl is white and she wants to dress up as Tiana, because that's actually our daughter's favorite princess, and she's dressed like her, who cares? If a little girl is Asian and she would like to dress up like Belle, who the flip cares? If a little girl is black and she would like to dress up as, I don't know,
Elsa. I've seen
Yes,
lots of black Elsas.
Lots
a lot of
of
black
them.
Elsas.
That's great. More power to her. I am so tired of people telling children they have to stick in their own lane on everything over characters, you know, because we don't want cultural appropriation. They were telling that one girl had a geisha party, and which is a little weird for a little girl to have a geisha party. But anyway, she went to a geisha birthday party, and the internet jumped down her throat because how dare she? How dare she do that because she's white? But then then other people chimed in that were actually Japanese, and they said, actually, this is a compliment to us that she loved our culture so much that she did the research and tried to make it accurate. That's actually, to us, it's a compliment. So stop speaking for us.
Yeah, everybody seems to jump to conclusions, and the people who jump to conclusions 9 times out of 10 are not the people who would potentially be offended. It's usually Karens, usually white women who are offended for everybody.
Or a lot of men trying to pretend like, look, I'm an ally, and it's just like, stop speaking for us. We don't want you to speak for us, you know? That's actually more insulting than, you know, anything.
So this was last year's Disney costume outrage. Mm-hmm. So I'm starting to wonder, and I think the Moana costumes actually sold very, very well last year because of that.
Still do.
And I think before that they had a controversy with the Maui costume.
Right.
And they had controversy with Ariel's costume because she had a white midsection.
And you can't let your belly be shown. Well, that's going to change anyway.
That's going to change anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's okay. You can change Ariel to black. That's completely fine. But you better not let your white kid wear a Tiana costume. Oh my god.
So this was last year's Disney costume outrage. This year's Disney costume outrage is Stormtroopers. And it's coming from a dad on a website called Fatherly. And I looked through some of the articles on this site. It's basically a mommy blog with dads writing mommy blog-esque articles. And it doesn't feel like I would expect a dad blog to. As a dad,
dad blogs wouldn't be calling for a boycott on Stormtrooper costumes.
No,
that's mom blogs that, you know, wouldn't either.
So we'll talk about this before we get into this any further. Please give us a sub. We're at 67-ish thousand, 68,000.
68, yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Let's go. Let's do this thing. Play button. All right.
Almost 70,000 people like to hear us rant about stuff. So there we go. Thank you for that.
That's happily married, ranting about things.
Happily married and ranting. So a lot of news outlets picked this up. I saw it making the rounds on Twitter yesterday.
Have to cover this later.
Yeah, so the original article...
God, it hurts.
The original article came from this website called Fatherly. And
I'm totally for. First, I want to go on record as saying I'm totally for instead of a mom blog having a dad blog.
Oh, I think it's great.
I 100% think so because I do think dads often get overlooked, and it's not right. Like, they always have these jokes like, "I have 3 children, haha, because my husband's a child," and all that, and they don't take dads into consideration. That's why some places are going to put changing tables in men's rooms and stuff because dads aren't considered, and I think that needs to change. So I'm 100% for that.
As a dad who has taken the kids on my own on multiple occasions, I 100% agree with the changing tables in the men's restroom, because there were times where I'm like, little baby Squid King pooped his pants, and I don't have a place to change him because there's no changing table in the men's room. So I'm like, okay, well then I have to go out into like a bench or something,
which I don't recommend you doing.
You know,
and he's trying to help me out because as a mom, I'm always one. You know, because I'll give Neon one thing. He has always been extremely involved with our kids, and it's not like it's my kids. You know, he's another kid. No, not at all. He's always been just as involved as I have, as do a lot of dads out there, and they kind of get shafted when it comes to, you know, people are always like the mom, and I don't think that's really fair.
So
but anyway,
I will give them that. So I think there's a need for there's a need for daddy blogs. And I really do. I am a grown child. I've got a lot of toys and video games.
So am I, though. Yeah. I do agree that there should be more dad blogs out there. I'm all 100% for it. But go ahead.
What I do not agree with is canceling the Stormtrooper costume. Let's read through this. Let's cancel the kids' Star Wars Stormtrooper costume. Embracing the dark side is fine at Halloween, but maybe let's rethink this one.
No.
So this Halloween, you'll doubtlessly open your door to a kid in a Stormtrooper costume. Yes, since 1977, there have been Stormtroopers.
Yep.
Every damn Halloween. But I don't know if there's going to be as many this year, though, because kids aren't into Star Wars like they used to be. No. But
maybe a First Order Trooper anyway.
Yeah.
Just say.
Yeah, First Order Stormtroopers will certainly appear demanding from behind very iconic and recognizable helmets. So...
I'm more thinking we should ban Rey costumes. That's a whole other story.
Yeah. While it's nice to think these kids are costumed as the heroic Finn or even Luke and Han disguised as Stormtroopers, the reality is most kids who are Stormtroopers for Halloween are just dressing up as Stormtroopers. We need to cue the serious music. This fact is a little bit scary, mostly because collectively, it's like the culture doesn't want to think about this fact, but we should. Having kids dressing up as a Star Wars Stormtrooper for Halloween is icky. It's icky.
Sorry.
It's ew.
Oh my god.
Having kids dressing up as a Stormtrooper is icky. Mostly.
Ew. That child is icky. Don't give them any candies for their tum-tums because they're icky.
Oh my god, this is what I'm saying. This is not a real dad blog, is it?
My god.
Mostly because Stormtroopers have horrific counterparts both in history and in everyday headlines. We'll get down to the Trump tweet.
Oh god.
Historically, the Stormtrooper originated during World War I and applied to a specific kind of German soldier.
Which is not untrue. That's true.
But they wanted you to know the Empire was bad. They were bad guys. Nobody's saying that they were good guys. They're bad shots, but they're bad guys. So by World War II, they were talking about the early N-word that rhymes with Yahtzee, Germany paramilitary group. No parent in their right mind would select Halloween costumes for their kids reminiscent of World War I Stormtroopers or proto N-word that rhymes with Yahtzee.
This reminds me of that con that was banning anybody of wearing certain costumes.
I was thinking that Tanya the Evil. It was I think it was Anime NYC.
Yeah, it was New York, yeah.
Yeah, Anime NYC banned any kind of military costume.
You weren't allowed to do you weren't even do Captain America.
Could do Cobra.
Or, yeah, any of that stuff because it could be Nazi affiliated.
So this is going to be the next
N-word that rhymes with Yahtzee affiliated.
So this is going to be the next thing. They're gonna argue that Stormtroopers, Star Wars Stormtroopers, who can't hit anything, are a threatening fascist regime that should be banned from cosplay. Arguably, this is kind of what we're doing every time we put a kid in a Stormtrooper costume. George Lucas specifically modeled much of the aesthetic of the OG Star Wars on World War II. And contemporarily, shots of the First Order troops in The Force Awakens is meant to invoke imagery of those N-words that rhyme with Yahtzee.
Can't even.
So why are we all okay with this? In 2016, the Death Trooper costume from Rogue One was gleefully sold by the Disney Store,
they're going to continue selling them. Thank you. They have red ones now, red Stormtroopers now.
It's fine in theory because Death Troopers and Stormtroopers are make-believe.
Yeah, right. Make-believe. I'm sorry, it makes you feel icky.
Icky. It makes me feel so icky.
Make-believe is part of childhood, even if it makes you feel icky inside.
The popularity of these costumes relative to other Star Wars costumes is a little unsettling. I mean, basically, these guys look like they're wearing space-age riot gear.
I think he'd rather have little kids dressed as Pennywise come to his door.
So we have to make sure that we get Ivanka Trump's tweet in there.
That kid.
Is that why we're calling for it to be canceled?
I don't know. It's not right about the little kid. I mean, that's just a little kid. That little kid's attitude is great, though. That they were using their kids for a publicity moment, which I don't think they should have done. But it's not,
every
it's not
celebrity
the
does.
child's fault.
No, and I mean they got so much hate for this, and so
I don't
now
care for Ivanka Trump, but it's not her child's fault.
So now because Ivanka Trump tweeted a picture of her kid in a Stormtrooper costume, now we're calling for Stormtrooper costumes to be banned. We never called for Stormtrooper costumes to be banned before.
Why isn't the Darth Vader costume? Why aren't they being banned? Why aren't Kylo Ren costumes being banned? Why aren't any bad guy costumes at all being banned? Because we shouldn't be promoting evildoers. It makes us feel icky.
Makes us feel icky. As a child, I remember the appeal of wanting to get into some kind of uniform for Halloween, whether it was Ghostbusters or Star Trek. This is the core of why kids love the fantasy of donning a Stormtrooper helmet or a Kylo Ren mask that can escape into another world. Again, when you boil this down to just playing pretend, a kid dressing up as a Stormtrooper might be no more or less damaging than a kid dressing up as a fairy princess. Except there's a fundamental difference in the narrative of Star Wars Stormtroopers. With very rare exceptions, are people who blindly follow orders, and their orders are always about mass execution.
You mean like Twitter, where they all blindly follow the same groupthink, and every time you give them any reason that that doesn't apply to you, their automatic go-to is they call you a racist, a misogynist, or whatever, instead of actually discussing it. You mean like that?
Yeah. They represent the police state, and in that world, following orders is the only way to live. Stormtroopers kill people with laser guns who challenge the status quo.
We challenge the status quo all the time, and we get in trouble for it.
Lasers.
So wait. Let me get this straight. Challenging the status quo is bad because our Stormtroopers who challenge us. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. We challenge the status quo all the time and we get shit for it.
No, we can boil this down. This is what this person sees in the Stormtrooper costume. He sees the police and
the word with the Yahtzee, it starts with an N. So this is the other side of the coin to the mom triggered article.
Yeah, pretty much. This is dad triggered, and dad using kids' Stormtrooper Halloween costumes to get across his political points. Made sure we put the Trump tweet in there talking about the police state. Next thing you know, it'll be like, Stormtroopers. I would say the Stormtroopers target black people, but Finn was black. So,
yes.
This is where it's going. This is getting kind of creepy, dude. This is since 1977. I don't think the Stormtroopers can't hit anything except Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru. Other than that, we don't know. They might have actually had help with that. I don't know if they ever explained exactly how they were barbecued. It might have been an accident. It might have been they had the Stormtrooper equivalent of Barney Fife, who lit himself on fire somehow and burned their house down by accident.
He was shooting at, the water evaporator, moisture evaporator, and it just ricocheted, and it happened to hit them.
It overheated. It was actually an electrical fire. They killed Owen and Beru. The Stormtroopers had nothing to do with it. They pulled them out of the burning house, hoping to save them. But it was too late. They were already gone.
It's like, we don't know what happened.
We don't know what happened. They were actually good people. The Stormtroopers. They were helpful police officers.
Of course he's kidding.
Am I?
You have to explain that because somebody would be like, oh my God.
Wouldn't that be hilarious? There we go.
Icky.
When I'm in charge of Marvel Comics, after they fire Kevin Feige and put me in charge,
which is never going to happen.
I'm going to write, we'll wait and see. Well, we
all know if it was between you or me, they put me in charge.
I'm going to write a canon Star Wars comic where the Stormtroopers tried to save Owen and Beru from the electrical fire, but it was too late. And then Luke hates the Empire because of it.
The whole reason the Empire got taken down.
The whole reason the Empire got taken down was because Luke was ass mad and he misunderstood the situation. They were just doing their duty, trying to help these old folks out. Other than Han and Luke stealing Stormtrooper uniforms to fool the bad guys, it actually took the Star Wars franchise 38 years to give us a Stormtrooper with a conscience.
What? Oh, because of Finn. Oh my God.
Because of Finn. Then they turn him into a complete puss in The Last Jedi. Finn decides he won't kill for the First Order. He takes off his Stormtrooper helmet and becomes a real boy. Does this very important lesson resonate when we stick children?
We have to read all of this. I don't know if I can stomach
No, there's not much
more.
left.
I don't know if I can take any more of the stupidity.
It could be argued that dressing your kid as Kylo Ren isn't much better.
It could be argued that way, yes.
That guy killed his father for basically no reason. But at the very least, Kylo Ren and Darth Vader are individuals, like Dracula or Frankenstein.
Well, okay, but each Stormtrooper is, individual. If you watch Clone Wars and stuff, they're different.
Yeah, they are. Even though they're clones, they all have different personalities, man. Get with it. Having kids dress up as monsters on Halloween is kind of what Halloween's all about. But having kids dress up as thinly veiled police state thinly veiled police state executioners
Oh my god.
is something else. So kids can't dress up as cops anymore either. They can't dress up as military.
No, you're not allowed to because it makes him feel icky.
The fantasy element to Stormtroopers isn't really all that fun. If anything, their presence in Star Wars is the scariest thing about the entire franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I happen to believe that for the most part, Star Wars is... Oh my god. I happen to believe that... This is how he ends it.
Oh my god.
This is how he ends it.
I can't even.
I happen to believe that for the most part, Star Wars is fairly anti-gun.
Have you seen Star Wars?
Despite the fact that several gun-like weapons are brandished all the time.
Because of their guns.
Overall, the message of the movies is against gun violence instead of glorifying it.
That's not... They all use blasters, which are spacey guns. They shoot down the ships with lasers, which are spacey cannons and guns.
What would a stormtrooper on Halloween be without a blaster? Much less scary. So this whole article is about using children's Halloween costumes to push your political points on a blog for dads.
So nobody show up at his house in a stormtrooper costume. I don't think there'd be candy because he'll feel icky. He would be afraid to open the door because the little 5-year-old in a stormtrooper costume could be a police state person in disguise.
It's a popo.
It's Popo. And I'm just so tired of this. I am so tired of hearing that you can't wear certain types of dresses because it's cultural appropriation. You can't wear this because it's cultural appropriation. We can't do any of those things because that's bad. But we can make Ariel black. But whatever. I'm just tired of. Look. At the end of the day, if your kid wants to be a stormtrooper, let him be a stormtrooper. If your kid wants to be Kylo Ren, I don't really like the new movies, but let him be Kylo Ren. They're allowed to like it. If a kid wants to be Rey, let her be Rey. If your little girl wants to be Moana, let her be Moana. Who the flip cares? They're little kids.
I don't think they're really going to have to worry about seeing a lot of Stormtroopers this year because, as we've talked about before, Star Wars is declining in popularity with kids. I think you'll see more, you'll probably see more Ninja Turtles than you will Stormtroopers.
Well, I want to put this in here real quick. I don't think it needs a whole video by itself, but Disney just went and took their, at Disney World, at their Galaxy's Edge, their Docking Bay 7 menu, they just took the names off that were the Star Wars themed names and gave them common names. Yeah, I put a story up about it. WDW News, they had posted about it. They actually took their menu items and they had like smoked Kadoo ribs. Now they're called smoked pork ribs. And Yob shrimp is now like shrimp and noodles. And they changed their names to being common, even though the board had pictures.
It had pictures.
And it told you exactly what was in it. They turned around and took the Star Wars names off. So even what little immersion you have, because they canceled a lot of it, they're canceling further. They're probably saving the fancy names for the real fans who pay the money to go to the LARPing hotel.
The $3,000 a night LARPing hotel.
So they're taking that away. Good thing they don't have anything named after Stormtroopers because it could have been bad because it was the police state and all.
Yeah, right. So I mean, I'm just like, could they just go all cheesy with it and have it like Vader Tader Tots or something?
Vader Taters.
Ewok stir fry.
Ewok stir fry. Oh my god.
But yeah, here, kid, eat your Vader Taters. How much? Yeah, like just to talk, because we are talking about LARPing, we are talking about costumes and all of that. How abysmal, how dismal of Disney to take out what little immersion there was, because they cut back on the cast members that were supposed to be walking around as aliens or whatever, rebels, whatever. They took them out. They don't have the animatronics really that they're promising, other than like Doc Ondar. They don't have a lot there. And now you can't even get space chicken. You just get plain old fried chicken.
Now it's called fried chicken. It used to be called, it was called fried Endorian tip yip, or you could get grilled Endorian tip yip, but now it's fried chicken and roasted chicken.
They made such a big deal about this.
Yes, they did.
They made such a big deal about it.
Now, Disneyland currently online is still the same. It's just Disney World they changed as of right now. I don't know why. I think it's because people didn't know. We kept saying, "What is it?" I don't know. There's a picture on the board and it tells you what's in it. But they changed it. So, and I was also thinking about the Stormtroopers. And at Disney World, they often do. They have the Stormtroopers do the march down the street.
Oh yeah, the March of the First Order.
Yeah. Well, we can't do that anymore because clearly that Disney is just pushing
the N-word.
The N-word
rhymes with Yahtzee.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're glorifying Disney. Disney's glorifying space Yahtzees.
Space Yahtzee is what we're gonna call them.
Anyway, I'm sorry. This whole article.
I can't even.
We gotta get
like,
our flu shots. We have to wrap it up. But our whole article is just.
This is ridiculous beyond ridiculous. Like, look, I don't know if anybody called this guy. 2015 is over. 2016 is over. People don't care about these ridiculous hot takes anymore on pop culture. In fact, all you're going to do is guarantee that more parents are going to dress their kids up like stormtroopers.
Right, just to spite you. They're going to find out where you are and come to your house, which I don't recommend doing. I don't recommend doing that.
The first order is coming to your house.
I just know people are on the internet, and I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're going to wrap this one up.
Yeah, I laughed enough. It was just I
laughed enough.
I just can't. When you read it, it's just like, wow.
Yeah,
it's like that guy who was turned to one article all into Trump in the toilet. That one time?
It
was a Star Wars article too, wasn't it?
They always start out so sane, and this is what Disney. If you're listening to this video, people like this in the media and all the people on Twitter. These people are actually your enemy. They're actually doing more damage to the Star Wars franchise by writing articles like this and pissing off hardcore fans.
Plus, they're telling people not to buy Stormtrooper costumes.
Yeah, you're basically telling parents not to buy their kids Stormtroopers.
You're literally telling people they are bad people if they put kids in Stormtrooper costumes. That is, when you boil it down, just like the media, you are a bad person if you don't like She-Ra. You are a bad person if you don't like Rey. You are a bad person if you put your kid in a Star Wars or into a Stormtrooper costume.
I'm out.
That's what they're doing. So
yeah,
you keep doing that, and then being pissed at people like us. You keep doing that.
And then
see how it works out for you.
You have to change your menu items because nobody cares about Star Wars, but they care about fried chicken. All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up.
All right.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.